Baylor is going to beat the brakes off of LSU. If you just the Google machine can tell you a whole lot of things in this life. If you just Google opt-outs, transfers, and look at what LSU is going to be missing in this game, oh my gosh. It is insane. The lack of care. It just means more opt-outs. It just means more transfer portal subtractions. The Tigers will tell you at the end of this, well, we didn't even care to be there. When they get blown out, they don't have a 1,000-yard rusher. They don't have a 1,000-yard wide receiver. When they get blown out, Garrett Nussmeier, who was playing, who was like, oh, well, I'm going to play in this bowl game. We'll show. He has thrown 491 passes. Listen to this stat. 491 passes, 26 touchdowns. Sawyer Robertson, 317 passes. That is 150. The difference in those two, 150 passes different. 26 touchdowns. Robertson has the same amount of touchdown passes, has completed 114 less passes than this hotty-toddy, high and mighty SEC quarterback who lost to Florida, who got beat 42-13 by Alabama, who got shellacked by Texas A&M. That's the same Alabama team who lost to Vanderbilt, the same Florida team who struggled to get to a bowl game this season. This is the same LSU team that at home, you're telling me in depth that I don't understand how you could be an LSU fan, okay, and be confident against Baylor, understanding the amount of guys, and I'll get there even more so in depth, the amount of guys who are not playing this game, but also understanding that you beat Vanderbilt in Death Valley. We gave you the gift of playing Vanderbilt at home, 24-17. Your head coach, Brian Kelly, who whined in the offseason, well, our D-line is just, it is fake Southern accent. Our D-line is just not good enough to be able to win a game, this year. We can't afford nothing. Do you still believe that the used car salesman that came down from Notre Dame, the same Notre Dame that's winning games in the college football playoff, and you're not winning games in the college football playoff, that same used car salesman is actually your head coach? Do you believe that guy's a representation of the state of Louisiana? Do you really want to come to the table and tell me that Brian Kelly is LSU? This is a school, and I grew up in Arkansas, and I have a lot of appreciation for LSU as a program, had a lot of appreciation for what Les Miles did there when he won championships, thought that the Joe Burrow team, it's some of the most fun I've had watching college football, seeing him carve in 2019. That was a dominant, awesome team. I hate this more for LSU than maybe anybody else because your head coach is not an LSU Tiger. Your head coach is a used car salesman who won a bunch of games at Notre Dame and now is playing dress up with purple. Kim Mulkey, awesome. She is Louisiana. That is perfect. I thought Will Wade was Louisiana when he was at LSU, Paul Maneri. I could go down a long list of baseball coaches, of softball, Beth Torina, of coaches that have matched the LSU Tigers' passion and energy. Brian Kelly's not that. Stop messing around. Stop playing. Baylor is blowing teams out week in and week out. And they want to play in this bowl game. You can't make the excuse. You can't say, oh, of course we got blown out against Baylor because none of our guys played. See, it doesn't work like that. We in the Big 12, we still care about college football. We still think that college football matters. In the SEC with LSU, where it just means more, this is such an uninspired team. It's an uninspiring head coach. I wouldn't walk if Deion Sanders walked into my living room. I'm probably going to go play for Deion Sanders if Brian Kelly's the guy who walked in right after. It's good to meet your family. Ed Orgeron, I get it. I know he probably didn't deserve to be the head coach there much longer. He overstayed his welcome by a year or 2 years, whatever it was. Fine, that's fine. I don't even care. But he represented the state of Louisiana. Les Miles felt like the LSU head coach. Nick Saban, the traitor Nick Saban, won a national championship. And you went with Brian Kelly? For LSU, you're missing both of its starting offensive tackles. Tight end declares early for the NFL draft. Trey'Dez Green will be the only scholarship tight end even available. This is per actionnetwork.com. It appears LSU will start 3 freshmen along the offensive line and likely kick Miles Frazier out from right guard to right tackle. Not to mention, from Campbell to Jones to Taylor to Lacey, the opt-outs, the transfer portal, potential opt-outs, there are a ton of those. And then the transfer portal. That is, I don't like your offensive line. You're going to have one normal starter and then a guy who's moving over, and then transfer portal wise, Miami commit, Ole Miss commit, a kid and a Pimpton kid, the tight end who played 141 snaps this season. J.K. Johnson is gone. I mean, he hasn't played for a while, but he's gone. Another one, Womack, who's an Ole Miss kid. It's like the offense, you're piecing things together because of opt-outs for the NFL draft. On the defense, pretty much everybody's just like your safety, outside linebacker, cornerback, defensive lineman, starting safety. And then a couple of starting wide receivers who are either opting out or leaving in the transfer portal. What's left? Nussmeier, who could only muster 26 touchdowns, given 491 passes, and Sawyer Robertson had 26 touchdowns with 317 passes? What? That's what you're banking on here in this game. That's what you think LSU is going to win. And analytically, LSU wasn't even that good this season. 45th against the run. Defensively, LSU efficiency-wise per collegefootballinsiders.com, who runs the efficiencies. These are numbers that I can't change. 45th against the run. Defensively, 71st in the country on third and fourth down success. They couldn't get off the field on defense. 28th running the football this year. That's pretty good. 12th efficiency-wise throwing the football. That's not bad. But this is a Baylor team who is as hot as anybody in the country right now. And those numbers I just gave you for LSU, 45th against the run, 71st on third and fourth down defensively, 28th running the football, 12th throwing the football. Part of that's because the wide receivers are good and they're opting out. Like those are the numbers before the opt-outs. Before the opt-outs, this is probably a 3-point LSU win. But now I'm wondering what's left. You've got a stand-in offensive line. You're begging players to play. Please, it just means more. We want the SEC to win. There's no reason. I don't think there's any reason for LSU players to care about this very much. And that's not an excuse to go out and lose, but you're going to. And then that's what you're going to say. You're going to go lose. You're going to say, oh, well, we didn't care because we didn't make the college football playoff. Oh, you put up a real good, real close game last year against Wisconsin in a bowl game to win 10. That's great, right? But where did it get? It wasn't the expectation. That 42-20 Kansas State loss is still living in my brain. I still can't give that up. Oh, you killed Purdue in that one bowl game. I mean, if I'm an LSU fan, I'm probably fed up. 12-team playoff, you still couldn't get in. You had every opportunity to do so. You could barely beat Vanderbilt this season. Oh, but it's a different Vanderbilt. Okay, bud. Okay. It stinks that for college football that LSU is where it is, but I just don't think this is going to be a very competitive game. I got the Baylor Bears, Sawyer Robertson, Bryson Washington, Richard Reese. That offense has been firing on all cylinders recently under Jake Spavital. Bears, man. Bears. This has been and always will be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.